Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Monday, June 22nd, 2026, 222. Today we're pulling from the Astrology Answers Tarot cards. We're starting off with the Hermit. I feel like because of the things, these upgrades and everything we've been going through, they're talking about like that information will, like why we went through that heaviness. You know, like they were saying you felt too comfortable. They knew you want to move forward. So this was like a push to push you forward. That will resonate with everybody differently, you know what I mean? But just make sure to take time for yourself to rest, to rejuvenate, and don't overdo it. So you may feel like things are falling to the wayside. So like what messages I was seeing yesterday is to, like, you know, keep doing the small tedious things, because, like, you know what I mean, you don't want it to pile up to where it's like you need to have it done by a certain time. You know what I mean? Maybe like having family over or something like that, or you regret not having it done. So like with myself, you know what I mean? It's just like you put things on Marketplace, nobody wants to pay anything for it. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? We're going to do it another way and hopefully that'll work out. But it's just like, do not take anything else on because you have other things that you want to take care of. So this is where it's like keeping it as easy peasy lemon squeezy, where you can rest, rejuvenate, recuperate, regain your energy, and get back to what you're used to doing. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, you got to take care of you. You're seeing balance being restored here. Your ship is about to come in. So I feel like if your finances have been chaotic along with the chaotic energy, so maybe that's what caused some anxiety. We're holding everything close to our chest. You know what I mean? Because we're afraid of losing it. We're afraid that something's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, or their life be lifing. It's just, you know, finding that grounding energy. I'm still doing my meditation by Kobe. I'm still doing a healing, Reiki healing energy, or healing Reiki. But I'm pretty sure it's Reiki healing. Or is it Reiki? Oh, I don't know. I have to I got to write these down. Especially, you know what I mean? Got to give people their flowers. But, you know, I keep it up. I'm like, you know, the energy is still moving along. I feel like it's like the energy oracle card, storm warning, where it's now, you know what I mean? There's still a little reminiscence. Maybe there's a little, you know, day showers with the sun out. But it's allowing, you know, that to do its thing and then let it move. And this is where you're kind of like letting the dust settle and kind of doing your own investigation. Don't do too much into it. I feel like this is a time to recuperate your energy. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying, like, there's still pieces going on here. But nonetheless, they're saying your future is lighting beautifully. Even though those last 2 weeks definitely felt like, you know what I mean? Like, how dare you dream big? How dare you, you know what I mean? Want to bring in certain things into your life. And that's where a lot of people are getting ticked off. It's like, how dare you overcome what was supposed to destroy you? How dare you, you know, break the chains of things that the toxic behaviors that they carried on. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't have to worry about anything. You let your angels, guardian angels, archangels, loved ones, whomever protects you, let them protect you. Yahweh, Yeshua, Divine Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, Higher Self. It's like, let you just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the naysayers, because they're not doing anything with their life. Those are the people that speak the loudest, that are not doing anything with their life, and they're like, why are you accomplishing those things? And how come I'm not? It's like, because I'm putting my energy into action. And you're just sitting on your butt, wondering why nothing's happening. So, you know, I ain't worried about what they're doing. I'm worried about what I'm doing. Very important to recall back your energy. Be kind to yourself. Obviously, like, you know, the thing that the anxiety is and everything that we're coming up, it's just, you know what I mean? We're doing the best that we can. That's what I'm saying. You know, what grounds you, what brings you to your higher purpose, what gives you that rest and rejuvenation, you know, just be kind to yourself. Take that rest. You know, when you're able to, take that rest. You know, with myself, it's just, you know, I was like, well, I could get that done, but it's like, I'm resting. I got done what I needed to get done. We're working on something else. We'll start working on that. But it's nothing that this, like, has to be done tomorrow. You know what I mean? The other thing, I don't see anything movement, so I have no idea. It's just allow it to happen when it happens. So going into our one energies, you know what I mean? When you see, you know, mostly our wands, but 111, that the universe has your back. Your future is lining up beautifully. Like, we keep getting that, like, you know, and that's what you don't, it's hard to see those things though when you're going through those storms, that everything is lining up beautifully. Like the card underneath it, Ten of Pentacles, absolutely yes. You know, because we're fearful. That brought up a lot of anxieties. And they were saying everyone keeps talking about this golden era, but there was this purge that had to take place before the golden era came in. You know what I mean? And you saw the true colors of a lot of people. And it's just like, okay, taking mental notes. We're not, you know, wishing any harm on them, but, you know, we're not going to forget. And that's all you got to do. Keep pushing forward. That's the thing. When this storm hit before, it hit differently. Now you have more power. Now you have more experience. Now you have more wisdom. But the energy was really, really tough, you know? But this is where they're saying this purge had to happen before the golden era came in. We are in the golden era now, but it's just like, you know, you're comfortable, and they're just like, we got to get rid of some of this false comfortability. Ten of Pentacles, happy couple, happy children, happy, maybe multiple generational family. Absolute yes, this is a beautiful card of the Minor Arcana. We just keep getting all these wonderful cards, right? And it's very easy to forget who we are when these noises come up, or the anxiety and the weight of everything and all the noise that was coming in. It was a lot. It was a huge, you know, purge. But it was narratives that no longer serve us. That's the biggest thing. That's not who we are. We can keep moving forward, being comfortable. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like, because some people are afraid to move forward because this is the narrative that they're used to, which is fine. But I feel like in that purge, they're bringing up situations or something happened where they're like, this is why you can't stay in this situation no more. You know what I mean? Like, it does not serve you. This is where, like, that air of truth, and I feel like this is where you really don't have to search for it. Certain people, if you let them speak, the truth is going to come out. They will tell you everything that you need to know, subconsciously. They don't realize that, you know, I know someone was talking nonsense, and someone had mentioned something, because before we had gone somewhere this weekend, they were talking a lot of rubbish. It's like, whatever. They were like, oh, this, and then they were responding, and they were really watching how they articulate their words. I'm like, whatever. But, you know what I mean? It's like, we already knew this. She's been saying it our whole life, so, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's just, as much as it's hurtful, that's why they're saying, like, this purge needs to happen. So if people are like, oh, I need to, you know, lessen the time that we're together, it's like, okay, no problem. You know what I mean? It's like, everybody has the right to have their own boundaries. But don't get mad when I don't sit there and beg you and cry and have a tantrum that I'm begging you to stay in my life, because that ain't happening. They're showing in the Eight of the Pentacles, and I feel like this is something that grounds us, is like they were saying, like, the little tasks. So this is where the universe is just like, you know, don't get bogged down where you don't do anything. Definitely rest and rejuvenate. It definitely hit me today. Like, I was up before my alarm. You know, I was going to go back to sleep, and now for a bit, I was like, I know if I fall back asleep, I'm probably not going to get up. But I was just like, I wanted to do a hair treatment where we got aloe gel off of Amazon, not styling gel, like actual gel. And then we harvest one of the stems or leaves, I'm not sure how you would call that, from the aloe vera plant itself. And then using the gel and the jelly inside of it and soaking our scalp. So that's a treatment we weren't able to do over the weekend. So did myself and my son. So that's where I feel like it's like, you know, still take care of the things. You know what I mean? Like, you know, with ourselves, it's just like, you know, the deck needs to get done and stuff like that. But it's like nothing like, oh, that has to be done tomorrow. I feel like it's like, you know, still pick at the things so they're done. So they don't pile up, and then you're just like, oh, crud, I wish I would have got that done instead of, you know, kind of sleeping the summer away, which there's nothing wrong with sleeping. But, you know, it's especially if you need to rest and rejuvenate. This also could be when they were talking about collaborations yesterday. So, like, they said there was going to be something small. But again, it's like if you see it as something small, then it's like you're overlooking what it actually could bring in. And maybe it's just like you need to learn that lesson that, big or small. I feel like, do it just for the experience. You know what I mean? 10-10 on the timer. But it's just like, again, it's your prerogative what you want to do. But I feel like it's, you know what I mean? It shows who you are. It humbles yourself. It keeps you humble. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, those, you know what I mean? You're making contacts, you're making connections, and you don't know where those contacts or connections are, what eyes in that collaboration that you think is too small may bring in. You know what I mean? So it's like, kind of like, don't be so full of yourself where you think that you're too big to partake in something such as, quote unquote, small. Rebirth happening in life. So they're showing a pregnancy belly. I know what that's about. They're also showing the Ace of Pentacles. You've already conquered the mountain. Now you're starting a new journey because this is why I'm saying new things are coming in. So with myself, it's like, with certain wisdom, devotions in the Hebrew faith, it's like, well, we could see that you do the things. Like, I very much appreciate the young lady that made the YouTube video, and she's like, before you take on high holidays, start keeping the Shabbat. So every single Friday, keep the Shabbat and keep it holy. She's like, start with that. She's like, once you conquer that, she goes, then start bringing in the high holidays. But we were very determined, right out the gate. So this, you know what I mean? It's like harvesting all your hard work. You know what I mean? Telling your future is lining up beautiful. We actually have a cardinal in the back. I can only hear one. I haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean? But it's nice to hear it. He's hopping around between our next door neighbor, who's a cop, his property, and across the way for where this gentleman with his dirt bike. So, you know what I mean? It's just nice to hear, though, because, it's been 9 years since we heard a cardinal. Like, you hear them on, and I'm thankful for that. I watched the Dumpster Diver couple Breakfast Club. I hope I'm saying their name right. But she has a lot of cardinals around her and her property, and unfortunately her father passed away, so every time I hear I'm like, oh, there's her dad saying hi and encouraging her and wanting her to have fun and, get back to basics, where this was what it was about, was like you guys having fun and you guys actually trying to make the world a better place. So, you know what I mean? I feel like it's just like, humbling. I don't feel like it's humbling her. I feel like it's just, because she does suffer from anxieties like myself. And it's just like, take it easy and take care of yourself. And I feel like it's a good reminder, or even showing her when she's going through those situations that he's always there with her. You know what I mean? So they're a really nice couple. They came across a dumpster rooster. It's so funny. I don't think they named him yet, but he's, you know what I mean? I'm just very thankful that they do those things, because it puts a smile on my face, and their banter with each other when they're diving, and we get to see their cat bones. You know what I mean? It's just like a little window into their world, very like Katie Van Slate. You know what I mean? It's like a small little window into their world. Like, we cannot pretend like we know who they are because it's a small little window. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful for that window, because it does add to my general happiness every day, just to, go on TikTok, and I look forward to seeing her videos, especially when it's like kidding season or foaling season. It's like you look forward to seeing that, and you pray that, everything turns out for her. And, she's such a light, you know what I mean? She didn't have to do that, and she did. So very thankful that, these creators that, again, got to give them their flowers, that they allow you to be in a window of their life. And it's just like, it changes your mood for the happy, for who doesn't want to see baby goats? Like, hello, come on. Or baby foals, miniature foals. Like, oh my gosh, so cute. So again, like they're saying, like, this is very much Storm from Below Deck Med when he was promoted to bosun, and he's like, I will never forget his words where he was just like, I've conquered that mountain. Now I'm ready for this one. And it's like, he already had the worth ethic and everything. Now he's learning how to refine those skills. And that, I feel like that's what they're saying there. This collaboration may be small, but it may refine your skills. It may bring in a new skill set. It may bring out a new skill set. That's why, and making contacts with other people, and they share their wisdom with you. You share their wisdom with them. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, don't overlook situations because they're not up to your caliber, because it's like you're missing out on a great opportunity. And if you look at things like that, you're never going to see the big things. You know, you got to appreciate the small to get to the next level. You know, fives, tens, you know, Reiki healing hope. You know, the fives and tens turn into 20s. The 20s turn in. You got to start somewhere. Last card, following our intuition. And I feel like this is very prominent right now where it's just like myself. I definitely feel like tired today. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of like dragging my butt and I'm like, you know, doing the things and making sure everybody eats and taking out the garbage, taking care of the house and everything like that. Like there's still things we got to take care of. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's where it's just like, you know, did I do anything on a checklist? I started one part. You know what I mean? And we'll work on that tomorrow. You know? So one thing I would definitely watch is what you're kind of like what I was saying, like 6 days a week, you know, you eat good and then you have like a cheat day or something like that. Even if it's on your days you're supposed to be eating good, and you have a little treat, nothing wrong with that. But I feel like, you know, like with myself, I definitely get like a hankering for like chips or some cheese or something like that. And I'm like, I have a bag of apples sitting on the counter. I'm like, girl, have an apple. Like, you know what I mean? I have a bag of carrots sitting in the fridge. Girl, like, because Sonny eats carrots and it helps like with the plaque on his teeth, his breath and everything. So it's like, you know, he's going to have some, I'm going to have some. You know what I mean? It's just, it makes, when you're light on your feet, you definitely changes the tone of how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? And this is not about weight or image or anything like that. It's just the way that you feel where like with myself where I can just zoom up the stairs. Like, you know, like my knees, you know, hurt and they start to crack and everything like that. You know, I'm of a certain age, you know, middle-aged. So it's just like that. It's like, okay, I put my magnesium cream on. If it gets to a point where it's like constant, then, you know, maybe I have to ice it. Or what I should have done, which I didn't have time this weekend, is if you have ginger paste at home, or you could take fresh ginger. This is Dr. Barbara O'Neill. I will not take flowers or credit from somewhere that I learned it from. And that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Knowledge is power. Where my skin is sensitive. I know she says it won't actually burn your skin, but it actually did. Maybe it was an irritant because I have sensitive skin. But if you take a paper towel and fold it in half, put your paste on in the middle of that, and place it where you're getting, with myself, I start to build fluid around my knees. You put it on and the magic of Yahweh Yeshua, it takes it away. Your knees you will see in days how much, even in the next day, you will see, even in that evening, you will see the change. So that's why I'm saying take care of yourself. Apparently works with your back as well. But this is why I'm saying take care of yourself. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying lighter on your feet. That's why I'm saying that for. You know what I mean? Because I strive to be like my next door neighbor where she's 80 years old, gardening and doing everything else. That's what I would like to be. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We all like the treats, but it's just like saying, okay, let's have an apple. And if, you know, we still are craving it, you know, we'll have a little nibble or something like that. So, you know what I mean? That's what I was saying, like, make it a habit. Or, you know, who was that? I believe it was Marcus in school and Dan as well. And it's just like, don't eat past like 8 or 9. You know what I mean? Like, so, but it's like apples and celery sticks. So I'll mix like peanut butter and jam and I'll eat celery sticks and stuff. Like, those are the things, you know what I mean? I know it doesn't hit the same. Trust me, I know. Big back here. You know what I mean? So I love to eat. But it's like, I also know that I love to garden. I'm very independent. I have so many flights of stairs to walk up and down multiple times a day, especially because I work in the basement. It's just, you know what I mean? Biggest takeaway is like, whatever feels like home, keep that into your life that makes you happy. That's why I'm saying lighter on your feet. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of us that are turning to those ages, like, you know, the mid 40s and over. And it's like, over, like, you know, or not over, heading that way. You know what I mean? Heading into, we're becoming the elders. And this is where I'm like, take care of yourself now. Make better choices. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's going to be days like, it's like, you know, those cravings would be craving. And it's like you want a piece of cheese or you want to have the chips or whatnot. I'm just saying with myself, I know like if I eat that later in the evening, so I work till 2 in the morning. So if I eat that between 9 and 2, I know my legs are going to feel heavier because of the salt intake or whatnot. So it's like my son, who his father suffered from heartburn. And it's like learning, he found out that onions and garlic are actually warmers in our body. So that's what gave him a lot of heartburn. So at a young age of 15, he learned that and he cut it out of his diet. And he asked me not to cook with it because, you know what I mean? I'm doing the cooking. And it's just like, it helps him. So that's what we started doing. We just cut it out. And it's like, geez, you know, I didn't even think of that with, you know, his father because I cooked with, like garlic we wouldn't cook with, but onion we did. So it's just, he figured that, you know, he carries that heartburn gene and he's just cutting whatever he can out of his diet then not to cause it. And I'm very proud of him for that because I tell both my boys, it starts and ends with you. How you treat yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, what you invest in yourself, it all starts with you because no one else, like, yeah, of course I'm always going to pour into your cup and have your back, but you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you got to love on yourself. You got to take care of you. So make sure you're taking care of you, you know, making sure that you're healthy mind, healthy thoughts, healthy spirit. Like, you know, if people are you're surrounding yourself with are, you know, not the best energy to be around, it's like, well, limit your time with them. Not saying you have to cut them completely out of your life, but, you know, take care of yourself and, you know, surround yourself with the right people. This is what that purge was for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick card pull. You take care of yourself, rest and rejuvenate when you can. Do something a little small for yourself. We'll see you for the next quick card pull.